We putting work, turning nothing into something. They feelings hurt, we turning nothing into something. Give a fuck if they don't like me, cause all this bread I count excites me. Turning nothing to something, nothing into something, turning nothing into something.
What up, what's going on, everybody? What is going on? A little impromptu. I'm not even gonna call this a Blunt Thoughts live episode. We'll just call it a little hot stove, David Stearns talking to the media, reaction, and so on and so forth. Just got a couple of minutes. We're not gonna be here too long. What's going on, Junior? We're not gonna be here too long, but I did want to react. We could either say David Stearns said a lot, or David Stearns said nothing. Depends on how you want to look at it, right? Some of the same that we've heard already about assessing, the 2025 season and learning from it and going forward. And we'll see how all that plays out. I know we're tired of hearing about that stuff. And, we don't want to hear talk. We want to see action, right? Enough talking, time for action. And we may get some action to this week. Don't really get too much happen in the GM meetings, but sometimes things happen, right? We saw that we traded for Jose Siri, I think it was last season, during the GM meetings. And don't ask me anything else because I wouldn't remember off the top of my head. But I did want to, just listen together and react together, real quick, like I said, to David Stearns' comments today. And we've been waiting. We want to hear where his mindset is to maybe we can figure out what kind of direction, we may be going into. What is he thinking about Edwin Diaz? What is he thinking about, Pete Alonso? What is he thinking about these young guys and the prospects and maybe going out there for trades? And what's going on, Eric? Going out there for trades and so on and so forth. Well, we'll see. But at least, again, you could either say he said a lot today, or you could say he said a lot of nothing. There's probably a lot of, hype. I think to some of these guys, maybe for some of these young guys, for the possibility of maybe for trade. He keeps talking about the farm and how we need guys to step up and guys to come up, and we're counting on these guys and we're excited about these young guys. That could mean two things. They really do believe in some of these young guys, and we'll be seeing some of these young guys continue to come up in the next few years. And I've said it before, if that's the case, that means that we may be a little disappointed with how the offseason goes, because we expect to go on a big-time shopping spree, right? But that could also be continuing to hype the farm system that right now has a good reputation, right? And rightfully so, right? We have a lot of talent down there. And we're, depending on where you look, I believe in the top 3, top 5 as far as farm systems overall. So you got to continue to keep talking about it that way. So other teams, and listen, other teams are going to do their evaluations and all that anyways. But if they really think you feel strongly about a player, it may be easier for you to be able to include that player in the trade when really it's the other guy you feel strongly about, right? But let's listen into a little bit, because like I said, we don't have too much time and we do just want to react. And let's start with him talking about 2025 and evaluating. And again, I know sometimes the audio is kind of low on this thing, so let's hope that, SNY is terrible with the social media audio. I was listening on my phone and it wasn't too bad. My bad, Kweisi. I want to change the audio here so it doesn't reverb off the mic or anything like that. So I want to change it on my computer so that it comes through silent, but that means I got to put on the headphones and all that good stuff. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, this was an impromptu, but how's everybody doing tonight, man? How's everybody doing tonight? Shout out to everybody that's joining in here. Like, oh my God, the dope is on. The dope is on. Open it up. We love you and we appreciate you. About what we got? 55 of you beautiful people up in here. That's what I'm here for, Junior. That's what I'm here, my brother. You see what I'm saying? You ain't even know Stearns spoke today. Well, now you know, and now you're going to listen to some of it. I'm not going to give you all of it. I think it's in its entirety right now on YouTube, on SNY's on YouTube. All right. There's clips all over, X. There's also clips on both SNY Mets and SNY. Shout out to them. I am going to be using some of that content. So let's give them a shout out right to open up. But that's what I'm here for, ladies and gentlemen, to help the Blunt Thoughts family kind of, stay on point and know what the hell is going on, even if I don't know what the hell is going on sometimes. And even if I do, people will tell you that I don't know what the hell is going on. But we have fun anyways, and that's what it's about. Let's do this, baby. Let's see what we got here. Like I said, let's listen to him talking about 2025 real quick. Once again, we're tired of 2025. We fucking hate 2025, David. 2026 better be better, though.
You go through the type of
Sorry. That's what you get ahead for talking smack. David Stearns was asked about self-assessing after the 2025 season. Here we go.
Okay, I think anytime you go through the type of season, and certainly the ending of the season that we went through, it provides a great opportunity for reflection, evaluation, postmortems, all of that. And I do think we came out of that with some very distinct and notable lessons. I think we're going to keep those distinct and notable lessons internal. But I do think it's going to help us all be better going forward, and likely influence how we go through every stage of the player acquisition process, whether that's off-season, spring training, trade deadline.
And there it is. Once again, self-assessing, looking at everything, how we're going to acquire players, off-season, during season, and all that good stuff, right? And in the trying to be better, both in the front office and players themselves. Shout out to the whole Melissa. Let me see if I can find that one here. Because she texted me like, what the heck is this? And honestly, it's something that I've said, like, listen, don't we all feel like these guys should have been better? I think we all feel like up and down. Obviously, the pitching could have been better, but a lot of these position players could have been better. I saw a quote, I don't know if I've played that here, but I saw a video, I don't even know if I have it here bookmarked, where he talked about Juan Soto needs to be better defensively, right? I also talked about how I feel like David Stearns chose the players over the coaches, right? And we talked about Kai Correa and what his terms are. And I believe I have some quotes on him here, some video of him talking about the new hires, but talked about how his strength is defense. So as much as we think this guy stinks, that guy stinks, we need to upgrade defense here, we need to go upgrade, and that's all true. And it may come from players from the outside. It may come from somebody from the farm system coming up, like maybe a Carson Benge, which we'll touch on in a second. But it also could come by better practices, right? By maybe working on the guy's setup, switching the guy's setup, maybe working certain drills with Peter Alonso that'll help him make that throw to first base. How many times have I talked about during the season? Did I talk about during the season, even this offseason, how, Pete never played no damn football. Pete never threw a football and tried to lead a receiver. Pete never played basketball and tried to lead someone to the basket. Well, shout out to John Heyman and Joe Sherman and their show, The Show. Gosh, all these tongue twisters. And they had Keith Hernandez on. And what did Keith say? To me, that throw was like playing football. I used to play football. I play quarterback. You got to lead the pitcher. When they also asked Keith Hernandez, has anybody asked you to work with Pete? He said, nah. Nobody's ever asked me to work with Pete or anybody. The last person I worked with was Todd Zeal. But these are our New York Mets. Because if it's just not analytical, then we ain't doing it. But whatever. Let me not even blame them for that, because Keith has been there for a long time. And I think Buck was like the first manager in a long time that actually told Keith, come down there and at least hang out by the freaking batting cage and stuff like that. Pre-game, spring training, and all that good stuff. But anyways, like I said, shout out to Lisa, who didn't like, I believe it was this comment by David Stearns, but listen, some of these guys need to be better. And they know it. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to switch some guys around. That's not what it means. Again, there could be a lot of double talk here. A lot of double talk, a lot of hyping guys up. Let's listen in. Where we at here? Here we go. Here we go. I hate that we can't hear the question.
Okay, I think part of improving our defense in particular is having some of our players who were with us last year play better defense. That is going to be essential. I've talked to some of our players about this already. This is going to be an emphasis of ours throughout the offseason, into spring training, into the season. Sure, we would expect some new players on our team somewhere around the diamond. That's natural in an offseason. But we're going to need our current group of players to play better defense. The brand of baseball, the brand of defense that we played over the last 2 months of the season wasn't close to good enough. It has to get better.
It made us sick. Not close to good enough. It made us sick. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. And again, how are you going to get to play better defense? Let's see if we find here real quick. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second. This is what happens when you do. Oh, here it goes. Pretty quick, pretty quick, pretty quick. I didn't like it. Come on, Kweisi, bring that back. No. Bring Lisa back. Quick trigger Kweisi, like quick trigger Sal. I didn't like it because he talks like the kids are little kids. And whoa, it's not just the kids though. And yeah, we got to stop talking about like these guys like they're kids, because they're not kids. They're fucking been here a couple of years already. It's time to get it going. But like I said, he even talked about Juan Soto being better. So this is how I think the conversation went with Juan Soto. Hey, listen, Juan, I know we got rid of Antoine. You know, the whole stolen base thing is cute, man. But I ain't bring you here to be Kenny Lofton. And if you want to emulate Kenny Lofton, how about you emulate his ass on defense and get better defensively? Because we give you a lot. Let me stop. So it's not just about the young guys. They all need to be better. If Pete Alonso's going to come back, you need to be better, Pete. And yeah, we're going to stick your ass at DH probably some. Francisco Lindor, you need to be better. Straight up. Brandon Nimmo, fuck, you might need new feet. But you need to be better. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. Let's listen to him talking about the new additions to the coaching staff. The coaching staff. And we're running through this quick, ladies and gentlemen, because I got to get the hell out of here. I got to get to work. We don't get paid for this. This is for fun. But when you ain't making money, it ain't no fun. So hold on. Here we go.
People he's worked with,
Oops.
players he's.
There we go.
Can you tell us about Ty Correa and Jeff Albert?
Yeah, so Jeff, obviously a very familiar face to our organization, has done a great job impacting our hitters at the development landscape, has a great deal of familiarity with a number of the players who are at the major league level, and was really a natural fit for us. He's very familiar with Troy as well, and Troy comes.
Again, that's important. I'm going to stop it there because that's important to me, I think, also. And I apologize if you're a regular Blunt Thoughts consumer. You're probably hearing a lot of stuff that I'm repeating, but it's the reality. I said before, I wonder what that Jeff Albert's input is on some of these guys, right? Does he say, no, let's bring this guy back? I think this guy could be better. I don't know what the hell Jeremy Barnes and Eric Chavez were doing, but I guarantee you I'll get better production out of these guys. I'll get us to hit better with runners in scoring position, late in game situations. I'll get us to make better in-game adjustments with these guys right here, with a Brett Baty, with a Mark Vientos. I'll get Brandon Nimmo to find that balance between that power, that newfound power that he has, and that great base guy that we all loved. I don't know. I think it's also interesting how he starts to talk about here Jeff Albert and Troy Snicker already knowing each other and kind of having worked with each other, I guess, in Houston or whatever the case may be. So that's important. That's good. There's an existing relationship there. Hopefully some like-mindedness while also having some differences, because you want some difference. You want some back and forth sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you guys, man, once again, who didn't even know I was doing this. Not that it matters if you're doing, I know most of the time you guys tune in is because there's nothing else to watch. There's nothing else to do. It's like, gosh, might as well tune into this dope. And what we appreciate it, though. We appreciate it, though. And we're almost at 100. So you know what? You 97 people in here, I know you have a friend. At least one friend that's a Mets fan. Send it to them. Let's see if we could double that real quick for the next 10, 15 minutes. But tell them it's going to be a quick one. If they don't hurry up, they're going to miss it. Anyways, let's finish with this. Talk about going to be quick, and then you're talking so much garbage, heck. And I'm going to try to get to your comments real quick. Don't worry.
A guy we were very excited to be able to access, bring into the organization. And Kai comes to us as really one of the best defensive coaching minds in the game.
Who? What? Run prevention? But Hector, for run prevention, you got to get rid of Nemo. You got to get rid of all these guys. There's no way you could bring back Pete Alonso when you talk about run prevention, Hector. Definitely not if you want to win. We'll see. I said send this out and get more people, not for you guys to leave. What the hell's going on here? I don't want to see the numbers going down. They got to be going up. Anyways, Kai Correa again.
And Troy comes extremely well recommended. A guy we were very excited to be able to access, bring into the organization. And Kai comes to us as really one of the best defensive coaching minds in the game. Someone who has established a reputation from people he's worked with, players he's coached repeatedly as innovative, who can really move teams and organizations forward on that side of the ball. And so we're ecstatic to be able to add all of those guys to our staff.
You hear that? Innovative, can really move teams forward on that side of the ball. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. And again, he said it himself in the prior clip. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have maybe new faces in some positions. But if we don't, we expect improvement anyways. One, from these guys working in the offseason, as we've already told them and we've challenged them. And two, by changing some of the faces in the coaching staff, which will help us change our practices and all of that good stuff. We'll see. I know what you guys are thinking. Hector, what the hell are you talking about? You've been brainwashed. Give me talent. I agree. Go out there and give me a real third baseman. I think we already have a real first baseman. I know you guys disagree. I know. Pete Alonso cannot play one more inning at first base. I understand. There's no way we can win a World Series with Pete Alonso. Look at that play that Vlad Jr. made, Hector. But we forget Vlad Jr. lost that game. Because you know what the Blue Jays needed more than that play? That play was great. But they needed one more big hit from Vlad Jr. And they couldn't get it. And maybe somebody else. But Jr. had his opportunity too. I'm not dismissing defense, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not dismissing defense. I'm just saying, let's not over whatever the hell the word is. And real quick, let's pause right here to make a proper plug about a show that is scheduled for Thursday night that I'm looking forward to, right? That I'm looking forward to, as we're going to have Joe DeMayo, co-host of the Med Spot on SNY and all that good stuff. And I think he writes somewhere, but we know he's in tune with the farm and the prospects and all that good stuff. So I thought it was a good time for my dumb ass to get educated. And maybe you guys could learn something too, but we know you guys are much more brighter than I am. You guys already know everything that there is to know. but it's for me to get educated. So we're looking forward to that. Thursday night, 8 o'clock, Joe DeMayo and the dope himself, baby. Make sure you tune in. Anyway, let's get back to this. What do we got next? What do we got next? From Smile. Not Mr. Smile. Remember that movie Smile? Every time I see this fucking guy, that's what I think about. The movie Smile. If it's not Pete at first base, Junior, where you been, in a coma? Jeff McNeil, bro. Jeff McNeil, Mark Vientos, Brandon Nimmo. Those are the names being thrown around. We're going to plug it in from within. Ortiz and Cindy, man. Checks in the mail. I appreciate you guys. I'm the smartest guy around, one of the smartest guys. Come on, guys, man. You know the truth. You guys are just bored. Well, laugh. Let's go laugh at this clown. Let's see. Let's see. Now, this here, I don't know what the hell he was talking about. Matter of fact, let's listen again together. Because David Stearns was asked how Peter Lasso defense factors into his evaluation. Actually, now that I think about it, this was kind of interesting. Let's listen in.
How much does Pete's defense affect how you view?
You guys are the best. Hold on, time out. You guys are the best. The numbers is already going up. Love you guys, man. I'm going to give you guys credit. I'm not going to say if anybody just came in by themselves. I'm going to give the 97 people that were in here, I'm going to give you credit for everybody else that's following and coming in, because you guys did the damn thing and shared and all that good stuff, man. You guys are the best. The Bluntos family is the best. That's why I keep telling Kweisi, why you keep saying no? We got to do this damn tailgate, man. We got to politic with the people. Kweisi's like, nah, why you want to do that for, Heck? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm kidding. Kweisi's like, yo, what are you doing, man? Nah. Oh, my God. Shut up, Heck. You got to get out of here. Here we go. On Peter Lance's terrible defense that we cannot have.
How much does Pete's defense affect how you view his value?
Look, I think all parts of player contribution.
What? All parts of player contribution? It's not just about the throws to the pitcher? That's not it? It's not just about that? I thought that was the only thing we were evaluating Pete on. David, my bad. Thank you for putting me on. All parts of a player's contribution. Interesting.
Affect how you view his value.
Look, I think all parts of player contribution inform how we view the player.
But then there's that smirk, though. I'm sorry, y'all. There's that smirk, that freaking smirk. I can't take this guy serious as I'm smirking. But it's because, I don't know.
For a position player, that certainly is going to include offense and what they do in the box, and also what they do defensively. It also includes what they mean to us off the field, what they mean to us in the clubhouse, what they mean to us in the community. All of that gets factored in with every player, and Pete's no different.
How much is Pete's defense?
Off the field? That's sort of something I've been thinking about too, man. Pete has been a great Met, man. Pete has been a great Met. Pete has put himself as part of the community. We know what Pete did with his first big money check when he won the home run derby and donated it to 9/11 foundations or whatever, base salaries. I shouldn't say whatever. I apologize. I don't mean it like that. Like, we hate Pete because he had a bad 2023. Not me. But we hold it against him like no other player. Pete is the only guy, I say this over and over. I'm glad I don't even have the comments up on my screen because I don't even want to see what Emmys he's going to say. If it's even in here. Peter's the only guy that absolutely had to take that first contract offered to him and could not decline it. Peter's the only guy who couldn't honestly answer a question after the season and say, yeah, I'm going to opt out. After giving you 2 minutes of how much he loved New York and then continuing that for another minute or so. Because Kodai Senga, who's frail than I don't know what, couldn't do a little hop and catch a freaking ball, bro. This is the same guy who missed the prior season pretty much the entire damn season, comes back, throws 7 innings, and can't feel the slow roller, and is out the rest of the year again. Is it Pete Alonso or is it Kodai Senga being weak? And again, doesn't mean that Pete doesn't need to get better with the throwing, because he does. Go play some football, Pete. You live in Florida. Nice weather out there. Throw a football around with your brother or something. Matter of fact, I should be in Tampa soon, bro. Holla at me. I'll go catch some footballs with you. Gotta go visit the fam. The little nephew before he don't even know who the hell I am. Anyways. Agree, Cindy. Agree. Oh my gosh, Hank. This is a quick blunt thoughts. Come on. Let's go. Let's see. What else we want to listen to real quick? There was like 1 or 2 more things that we wanted. Let's see what he says about Kodai Senga. He was asked, should Kodai Senga pitch in the bullpen? Did Kodai Senga fake it for the bets? Who the hell knows? How about that, ladies and gentlemen? How about them 2 idiots? And now they're talking about Jesus Christ. Embarrassing, man. Emmanuel Class A is talking about, he was talking about roosters, cockfights in DR. You freaking cockhead. Anyways, let's get back to the matter at hand. My gosh. Anyways.
He's proven at the major league level that he can have really good years, and clearly the last 2 years at times have been struggles for him. But the talent is there. The desire is certainly there to have a bounce back year, and we're going to give him every opportunity to do that.
My bad. We bring that up a little late. But they just asked him about Senga and maybe pitching out of relief next year.
I think right now we view Senga as part of our rotation. He's proven at the major league level that he can have really good years, and clearly the last 2 years at times have been struggles for him. But the talent is there. The desire is certainly there to have a bounce back year, and we're going to give him every opportunity to do that.
Is the desire really there, though, David? Is the desire really there? As Cindy said a little while ago, he's just too weak mentally. Everything has to be perfect. I've said it before. It reminds me of freaking DeGrom at the end, which is why I was sick of DeGrom. Everything had to be lined up perfectly. Oh, this hair is too long. I can't pitch. Man, get the hell out of here. Hey, listen, and that's what I was going to say. Like, man, last year I was one of Senga's biggest defenders. When everybody was talking about we don't have an ace, how can we count on Senga being an ace? I'm like, yo, he pitched like an ace. He hasn't been healthy, but when healthy, he pitches like an ace. I was saying what David Stearns just said. Right now, I can't get fully behind that. I'm not saying we need to trade him. Who's Senga exactly? Who is Senga? Is it the guy that looks like an ace when he's at the top of his game? Or is it the guy that looks weak-minded, very mercurial? Why are you even trying to say the word you can't say? It's because it's in my head. So I want to say it, but I can't say it. Mercurial, whatever the fuck it is. Now you're cursing, dumbass. Oh my gosh. But no, Kodai Senga's a reliever? No, says David Stern. We're still counting him as a starter. Meanwhile, the fan base says, get this guy off our damn team. Package him and McNeil and go get, I don't know who, but somebody. Package him in Baty's ass, if you ask Heck. Shout out to my guy, Joel Delo Mio. He probably like, yo, Heck, what do you mean, man? That's my guy, Baty. Delo Mio was excited, ladies and gentlemen. Let's show you why he was excited. As David Stearns. And I'm trying to stay away from the whole him talking about Pete and Diaz because it just makes me sick. Diaz should have been re-signed already. And Pete, like I said, if he's not lying and they really want Pete back. And I've been saying this the last couple of days. Everybody that's saying, "Oh, it's gonna be quick," and my boy Sal talking about, and I agree with Sal. I said to myself, make a fair offer and tell them this is our offer, people. We're not fucking around. Sal's adamant about that, but I'm not so sure that's the tack that they're gonna take. And like I've been saying the last couple of days, we know David Stearns loves a market that crashes. David Stearns loves the market that crashes. Will he wait around and see if Pete Alonso's market crashes to a point where he likes it? I hate the fact that we talk about baseball now like it's freaking the stock market and all of this nonsense. But that's what it is. But we're going to see. We hope that doesn't drag for a long time. But if they're serious about bringing Pete back, I don't think they're going to have any choice. Unless you do what everybody says you shouldn't do because, oh, Hector, all they're going to do is, all Scott Barber's going to do is take that deal and go shop it. No, you tell them, listen, we're not messing around, dude. This is our deal. And shout out to my guy Sal. I know you guys hate Sal. That's my guy. I don't give a damn. Shout out to my guy Sal. BNNY. I watched a couple of minutes earlier. Who said, "Hey, you make a deal. It may be a little higher than some people are comfortable." I think he said something for 180. I think he said 6 years. That I'm not with. Sounds crazy. I'm not giving a piece 6 years. Five. Maybe an option. 5 is as high as I want to go. 4 I'm comfortable with. But you make him an offer and you say, if you think you can beat this, go ahead. But we're not going back and forth. And of course, you give yourself some room. If you really want the guy, you're going to give yourself some room. You maybe let him come back one time, but you ain't going to let him know that. But that offer needs to be something that he can't refuse. Is David Stearns going to want to do that? Is David Stearns going to be left alone to be able to make this decision on his own? Is Steve Cohen going to step in a little bit? I don't freaking know. Where were we? We were going to throw my guy De Lo Mio a bone with David Stearns popping his guy up. Where he at? Here we go. Now, this kind of made my stomach turn a little bit. Not, let's see. Que Brett Baty de mierda. Here you go.
How do you view the third base situation right now? And was the rotation between those young players an effective way to go about that last season?
I think Brett had a really good year. Took some real steps forward in his development. I think going into the offseason, he's probably someone we would pencil in for significant third base time next year. Probably premature in mid-November for me to outline exactly how playing time is going to be allocated, but Brett did a really nice job. He earned more and more opportunity as the year went on. I think he's going to continue to get that.
How do you view the third base situation?
Now, when I hear this, you know what the first thing that comes to my mind? And I almost went back and looked for this, but I don't got time. I got to get the hell out of here. How much, if we went back and listened to him talk about Mark Vientos last offseason, would it sound the same as this? And that's all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Brett Baty had a decent year. Finally looked like he figured things out. But is he going to be able to bounce back? And I know it's not going to be looked at as a sophomore slump. And it's like the same thing. Was it really a sophomore slump for Vientos? Maybe. Hopefully that's what it was. Was it with the league adjusting and him having too much of a big head and not working hard enough in the offseason and then letting his offense and struggles affect his defense? I hope it was more of that. And not that he's just a bum, because I don't think he's a bum. I did a morning blunt. Shout out to the 5 people that watched the morning blunt. Appreciate you guys. It's probably Kweisi just watching it from 5 different accounts. My brother. But I did a morning blunt talking about Vientos. And now I feel like he ran into a lot of tough luck. There was an article, I forget exactly who the gentleman was. I apologize. I forget even the publication, but I reposted it. You can go find it on my X. When he talked about the same thing 2 weeks after I did it. So maybe he watches Morning Blunt. Thank you, gentlemen, whoever you are. I forget. So you guys know I'm rooting for Vientos. But maybe Vientos just has to get traded. Because Brett Baty got a ringing endorsement. Now, this could maybe be just hyping Brett Baty to be able to trade him, right? Oh, hell no. 260 and 15 bombs out of third base. Are you nuts? Shout out, meanwhile, Syracuse NY. Meanwhile, in Syracuse NY. Don't think we've seen you in here before. We appreciate you. No. Now listen, that's a great point. That's how, and that's why I feel also. And again, he keeps talking about these young guys and how we believe in these young guys and believe in these young guys. And it's part of the reason why I say you go and you pay Pete Alonso and you pay Edwin Diaz, because you keep talking about these young guys, and these young guys ain't making no money, right? Brett Baty, Mark Vientos, they may make $820,000 next year. And Baty may perform at a $15 to $20 million level. Vientos last year, if you go look at his value for last season, not last season, 2024 was like $30 million. Now 2025 was like $2 million, I think. You got Alvey, maybe making, I think it projected to make like $2 million this year. Right? And then you got money keeps coming off the books. Money coming off the books, coming off the books. And if you go look at the Mets payroll for the next 4 or 5 years, the commitments just keep dwindling. But Baty got a ringing endorsement. Not so much for my guy Swaggy V. Let's check this out.
Vientos' role kind of contingent upon what happens with some other pieces there, like Pete.
Yeah, I think Mark had a disappointing year last year. I think he's very motivated to prove that last year was the outlier, and he's
now motivated Mark is a good Mark. We know that, right? We saw what happened when Mark kept getting up and down, and mistreated. He got motivated, did the damn thing. We need that guy instead of the guy who learned that less is more. I had to kick you upside your head. Come on, Heck, you got to behave, though. I forgot, man. There's an opening for Meet at the Apple if that continues. I got to try to do. How I get my resume to Meet at the Apple? Take my guy Jonathan's place. Dreams. Anyways, back to the video, Heck. You talk too much shit.
What happens with some other pieces there, like Pete.
Yeah, I think Mark had a disappointing year last year. I think he's very motivated to prove that last year was the outlier, and he's much closer to the player that we saw in 24.
What do you think, David?
And the one thing that's apparent is, regardless of how our roster shapes out, there is going to be opportunity. Like there through performance or injuries, there is always opportunity. There are always plate appearances. There's always playing time for players who are performing. And so what we're encouraging Mark to do is put himself in a spot where he comes to spring training ready to perform, regardless of what our offseason looks like.
Did that consist of telling them to take some ground balls at first base? You should have told us that, David. That was what they asked you. But I guess you left it open there at the end when he said, regardless of what our roster looks like. But let's see. I think that's pretty much the gist of it. Again, self-evaluation. We need to get better. Counting on the young guys. Oh, no, but how can I forget? Something that I teased. It's even in the title or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I know something that is going to excite. If you didn't hear it, it's going to excite you. If you did hear it, I'm pretty sure it excited you. And that was when he was asked about center field and how do we handle that? How do we upgrade that? or whatever the hell the question is. Let's see. David Stearns was asked who the Mets center fielder is right now, and here's his answer.
Who's your center fielder right now?
Who's your center fielder?
Yeah.
I think we have a couple of options. I think Tyrone Taylor has proven he can play out there at a high level defensively. Carson Benge is going to come into spring training with a chance to make our team. And we'll see where the offseason takes us beyond that.
That's big. He said, I think we have a couple of options. And then mention Tyrone Taylor, who we know, as much as we love Tyrone Taylor, is a fifth outfielder. And said Carson Benge will have an opportunity in spring to earn the job. That's exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Even for someone like me who downplays prospects and stuff like that, it is exciting to have young guys come up. It's even more exciting if they have an impact. We saw how excited we got when we saw the young guys come up at the end of last season. Nolan McLean, Brandon Sproat, and then Jonathan. Now it was even more exciting to get the results that we got from Nolan McLean. We enjoyed Brandon Sproat. Jonathan. Oops. But we'll see. This is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. Just the beginning. And it's going to be a lot of fun as I make a fool of myself and put the ice cream helmet on my head. It's going to be a lot of fun. But, except we wanted to do this real quick. Probably a little longer than we thought already. No, I said, hey, Kweisi, 30, 45 minutes. Then we got to get the hell out of there. Got to get back to work. We're approaching 45 minutes. Let's look at your comments real quick. Let's see if we got anything here we need to react to. Oh, man, John, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate you very much. We spoke about, Eddie. Shout out to my guy, Eddie. Make sure you guys tune into my guy, Eddie, who I'm pretty sure tonight we'll be having some Knicks post game after the Knicks game who just started right now a couple of minutes ago. And the Knicks already down. What is it, 5-0? Come on, let's get it together. Now, Eddie, I've been seeing your video talking about Mitch this, Mitch that. We got to extend Mitch. Come on, man. Can we just focus on this year and win a damn title and then worry about Mitch? Mitch can barely stay on the floor. You want to give him, how much was it? I forget, but a whole lot of millions and a whole lot of years. Love you, but you out your damn mind. Pick somebody else to tell me we need to bring back besides Mitch. Anyways. Brett the Hitman Baty will have a big season next season at third base. Listen, if he's the one that gets the job, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. And I said thank you to John for the contribution, but I didn't acknowledge his comment. No more internal options at multiple positions. I agree. That I agree with. Like, I still think we need to clear some of that logjam with those four guys, with the Mauricios, Acuna, Baty, Vientos, because as much as he talked about we need to play the young guys, it needs to be a new infusion of young guys, not these young guys. We've evaluated these young guys. That's enough. At least one of them needs to go. Now, this I agree with, Junior. This is something that I was saying, I think it was yesterday. Like, why is he not already out there? Why is he not already out there? He should have been out there already. To learn how to stay mentally engaged and to get repetition. He needs to play. Dude missed a lot of time. Totally with you. Oh, crap. Damn crazy. Oh, don't worry about it. Never mind. Cindy says Stearns can't do that this offseason. I'm guessing you're referring to kind of like going from within to a certain extent. We'll see. Like I said, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. Part of me feels like we might be a little disappointed and how the offseason goes. And part of me is like, he can't be that dumb. He did say, and I didn't share it here, and I'm not going to try to find it because I got to get out of here, that anybody that's involved, anybody that's available out there, we will get involved. But he also cautioned within reason. Within reason. I'm not sure if that's exactly the word to use, but yeah, Sal said 6 years, right? 6 years for Pete. He's nuts. Not doing 6 years for Pete. Oh, allowing the market to crash. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. What do we got here? That might be where he's headed. That might be where he's headed. He's silly. He's silly as fuck. Benge ain't ready, and neither is Williams. These kids jump on a few fastballs here in Syracuse, and suddenly they're ready. Benge isn't even that fast. More like right field. Wow. Okay. Now, there's someone who's in Syracuse, ladies and gentlemen. I always say this. There's only so much I could talk about the young guys. And that's why shout out to Joe DeMayo again. Thank you, man, for agreeing. And he'll be here Thursday night and educate my ass a little bit on these guys. Because I don't watch. You know, every now and then I'll do a little bit, couple of innings here and there. But I don't watch the minor leagues. So we can look at a scouting report and all the hype and this, but here's somebody that probably watches out there in Syracuse and says he isn't even that fast. More like a right fielder. Well, we shall see. Again, a lot of that could have been hype, guys. A lot of that could have been hype to raise these guys' trade value or to keep their trade value up to be able to make a move, right? It kind of does sound like that, Ortiz, but I don't think he will. There's got to be some changes made. There's got to be some changes made. But we'll see. 4 for 60 for Mitch. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We'll see as far as that, too. But again, how about we just focus on first winning tonight, continuing this home winning streak, or this winning streak overall. Ooh. And then winning this championship that everybody thinks that the Knicks are on their way to winning. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for joining me. Again, impromptu little reaction to what we heard from David Stearns today. And I know we heard a lot more than what I touched on, but I thought it was the key points. Man, listen, as far as Edwin Diaz, Pete Alonso, we already know. We touched a little bit. We heard a little bit from him talk about Pete Alonso. We didn't hear him talking about Edwin Diaz. I don't want to hear him talking about Edwin Diaz. The only thing I want to hear about Edwin Diaz is the New York Mets and Edwin Diaz have come to an agreement. He did say something else about bullpen. I probably should have had that. Let's see if I find it here real quick. I'll play it. Because I forget what it was. I kind of was like, But whatever. Anyways, I did say this before. As the offseason picks up, we'll start doing more of this. Maybe we come back tomorrow and we do another one if something else comes up that we need to react to. Other than that, we'll see you Thursday night with our guest Joe DeMayo. We'll get into the young guys. Who should be an untouchable? Who shouldn't be an untouchable? Who should we trade based on hype? Who should we trade high on right now? Right? I always talk about a good front office knows who to keep and who to get rid of. We'll get Joe DeMayo's thoughts on that Thursday night, 8 o'clock. For now, everybody enjoy your evening. Enjoy the next game if you're watching. And don't do anything I wouldn't do. Be safe. Now, as always, let's go Mets, baby. Peace.
full of animals and we made ourselves with minimal. Fuck you, no subliminals. Putting in this work, nigga. That's why they feelings hurt, nigga. Swear we need a hearse cause we rep our shites to the dirt, nigga. If I'm in the club, I'm